I am making a sci-fi horror game where you wake up alone from cryosleep, aboard a lost colony ship sent to build a new world. But down there, on the planet's surface, something's already waiting. It began with a few shapes, a vision and a lot of doubt. But through years of learning, failing and trying again, that vision started to take form. What was just an idea becomes something real, something I now call Entropy. In this video I want to take you through the development of my game. From the very first experiments to where it stands now. It's still far from finished, but it's finally starting to feel alive. My very first thoughts? Well, I wanted to make a sci-fi game with an absolutely terrifying alien. Not just scary, but smart. The kind of creature that doesn't just kill you, it plays with you. I wanted it to feel disturbing, claustrophobic, and of course it had to take place on a distant planet during a colonization mission that was never supposed to fail. So yeah, simple idea, right? It all started with the installation of Unreal Engine and me staring at the editor for the very first time, completely overwhelmed. My first thoughts was basically,
oh no, what the hell have I done myself into?
So I started clicking things, moving stuff around, breaking everything that could possibly break. Weeks went by and I still had no idea what I was doing. And then one day it totally hits me. There are tutorials! Wow! Yeah, apparently you can actually learn this stuff. After surviving the first few weeks, I finally started creating my first real piece of the game. Small corridors, rooms, basically just me experimenting with shapes and lights. I bought my first assets, learned how to build levels, messed around with materials, blueprints, interactions, and of course, spent half my time fixing bugs I created myself. But step by step, things began to take shape. The first level started to look like actual environments, and for the first time I felt like a real game was coming together. And back then I honestly thought this was the easy part. So you probably want to know what the game Entropy is actually about. Well, you play as Frank, a colonist, one of many, or at least that's what it was supposed to be. He wakes up alone, decades before reaching the destination planet, aboard a massive colony ship drifting through deep space.
Something's wrong.
He doesn't know why he woke up, and no one's answering.
Hello?
Hello?
So, it's up to you to keep the ship alive, maintain the life support, repair systems, manage your cryocycles for the long journey ahead. Every choice you make decides if Frank will ever reach the planet alive. Because once you finally arrive, nothing is as it should be. The planet itself is raging. Violent storms, freezing nights, burning days, and something else. Something that shouldn't exist. An organism that doesn't just kill. It hunts, it adapts, and it learns. Out there, survival means preparation, scavenging, crafting, doing whatever it takes to stay alive long enough to encounter the truth. Will you find your wife again? And will you find any survivors at all?
Carl!
And what really created the thing that hunted you? Well, I could tell you more, but you know, spoilers.
So, here's the spoiler.
Alright, let's get back to the development side of things. I've told you a bit about the story, now let's talk about how it all came together, or at least how it started to. I began building the first areas inside the colony ship without really thinking about map design or structure. I just built, I don't know, whatever it feels like. So I abort everything. I took a short break, spent a few days with my wife, planning things out properly. We worked together on the level structure, story flow and interactive elements, basically turning chaos into something that actually made sense. After that, everything slowly began to fall into place. The level started to take shape and I began adding more and more systems to bring them to life. Power grids connected to the fusion reactor, door override panels, working elevators, pressure leaks and repairs. holograms, temperature logic, keycards, PDAs, nodes, audio logs, and yeah, a cat. Every new feature made the world feel more alive and a little bit more broken. But even with all that progress, something still didn't feel right. The visuals weren't there yet, performance needed work, and the sounds, yeah, let's say these free sounds I used were very free. But that was about to change. Because at one point I realized development isn't just about coding or building level structure. It's also about building a community. So I started the Entropy Games Instagram channel. At first I just posted a few short clips. Progress shots, some updates and some behind the scenes moments from the editor. Nothing fancy, just me documenting some progress. But then something unexpected happened. People actually started watching. The followers kept actually growing, and with them some amazing people from the gaming community. Over the month I met some sound designers, composers, marketing experts, voice actors, and even an artist who somehow ended up inspiring me. I've also connected with other developers, we shared ideas, advice, bugs and sleepless nights. And out of all that, real collaborations were born. So, to everyone who's been part of that journey, thank you. Carl. And yeah, things even get to a point where I started to get actual job applications. Like full-on cover letters and CVs on Instagram. I mean, I'm a solo developer, I have no financials and I have no human resources yet. Just me, Unreal Engine and way too much coffee. But the truth is, I'm not really alone anymore. My wife now works alongside me, handling metahumans and animations, and she's doing an absolute amazing job. Together we've turned Entropy from a dream into something much more. It's no longer a vision. It's a mission. A mission to create something truly special in the sci-fi genre. Something that will stay with players long after the credit rolls. And honestly, I think we're on the right track. Now let's get back to the development side again. Because all those problems I mentioned earlier, like visuals, performance, they didn't magically fix themselves. So during a little creative break I played a game called which by the way is also made in Unreal Engine, and at some point I caught myself thinking, damn, those walls, those scratches, the dirt, those reflections, why the hell don't my walls look like that? So naturally I went down the rabbit hole to figure out how they did it. That's when I discovered the magic of multi-layered materials. Or well, discovered might be the wrong word. It's not really a feature you just turn on.
It's a feature, not a bug.
No. No.
You have to build yourself. And yeah, it was really complicated. I really had to learn very much. But once I got it working, it was worth it. I could blend materials, add scratches, dirt, dust, metal wear, all while keeping it super performant. The only catch? I had to apply it manually to over 5,000 assets. Walls, floors, corners, tables, no matter what. Everything has to use this material and I have to play it manually on each one. And I'm still not done. So if I ever disappear for a few months, you know where to find me, okay? But the good news is, the game now runs smoother than ever. Even on my old RTX 3060 it's surprisingly stable. And a huge part of that is thanks to Unreal Engine's Nanite technology. If you've ever seen the Matrix demo or Valley of the Ancient or I really don't know how to spell it. I'm sorry, I'm from Germany. But actually getting it to work properly in a big project, oh man, that's a different story. There's barely any documentation. Half the settings are experimental and it took me weeks of testing to figure out how to get it running the way I wanted. Oh man, it felt like illegal black magic. Combined with proper texture streaming, most of my shader stutters were gone. And then came the hardest part of all. The spaceship. Mann, der scheiß Stuhl, ey. Yeah, the ship you've seen, my readers. The takeoff sequence, the flight to the storm, and the final crash landing. That thing has haunted me for months. Originally I thought, it shouldn't be that hard. Carl. So, you know, a little bit of 3-axis movement, deceleration, acceleration, and a little trigger when the player comes near the planet, so the landing sequence will be initialized. Shouldn't be that hard, right? 1 week quickly became 2, then 3, and after 1.5 months of debugging, math nightmares, and sleepless, horrible nights, I ended up with the most complex blueprint I've ever built. Longer than Elon Musk's tax return. But you know what? It finally worked. Sure, there were some bugs, but most of them were just little gremlins I could easily squash with a few debug notes. Now the entire crash landing system works beautifully. From the storm turbulence to alarms to the impact itself. It's still a work in progress. I need to fine tune some post-processing and effects, but overall I'm finally proud of it. Now, before I show you some sequences, just a quick heads up. These footages were recorded on my trustly old RTX 3060. And well, let's say my recording software and Unreal Engine don't always get along. So it doesn't look ultra cinematic, 4K, HDR, dynamic, range, blah blah blah. Don't blame me, blame my GPU.
Some plant species that have already proven their ability to survive in harsh landscapes also have...
Number 47. I have to record this. The organism we are working on is developing way too fast. I feared for a while that we might lose control, but now...
Yeah, and that's where we are right now. Still learning, still improving, and still building. Entropy is growing every single day, and I can't wait to show you what's next. Most of my updates, new scenes, dev progress, and behind the scene clips are posted on my Instagram channel or in our Discord community. You will find both links in the video description. And of course, mein Gott, nochmal verpisst. You can also hit the subscribe button down below and give the video a like if you enjoy it and you like the game and want to see more in detail here on YouTube. So come on, join the crew, share your thoughts and be part of our journey to Entropy. Thank you.